Greetings, peoples of the interwebs. Yeah, we got a live audience. Woo!
They're so far away, it's hard to hear them.
So basically, this podcast is kind of like the whole comic book boom that's going on right now and has been going on for the past, I don't know, few years, like 5-ish years, however long it's been.
I guess it kind of started with Iron Man.
Yeah.
It started with Iron Man.
It's everywhere, a huge part of the pop culture in general. It's not just this fringe thing, or even somewhat kind of popular genre thing. It is everywhere.
Yeah. And joining us, as always, is our good friend Reverend Spaceman. And
as always,
I'll
we've
let
done
you.
a few without him.
I'll let you kind of plug your channel.
I talk about Transformers one time, but I say that like it's what I do all the time.
What you should really be promoting is our upcoming Blunt cast.
Yes.
Which is probably going to be only kind of what you think it's going to be about.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the blunts that we all smoke. It's mostly me and Dave, probably you guys on occasion too, going to be talking about Blunt Talk when that starts airing. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing.
Which is a TV show, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, if you didn't know, it's...
We did a trailer analysis also on my channel.
Yeah.
Reverend Spaceman.
Yeah, Reverend Spaceman.
I'm done being shameless
it's
now.
The channel, it's the man Shameless, also a great show on Showtime, which I believe is showing Blunt Talk.
But,
Or is that
also,
or is it Star? It's Stars. I'm sorry.
But also, Reverend Spaceman.
Dave,
stop talking.
Promoting me. Stop promoting me, Dave.
I'm promoting
I finished it.
Promoting Shameless.
Stop.
I'm promoting Showtime.
Stop.
I'm trying to get sponsors here.
But also,
mute him.
Reverend Spaceman hosts the Pasty Pale After Dark podcast on his channel, where it's usually...
Which is the exact same thing as what we're doing right now.
More or less. Yeah. But it's basically like...
on his channel.
It's late at night. We've usually had a few, pints of alcohol or a few shots. We've usually had alcohol in our system at some point. And we kind of just talk about whatever. So feel free to check those out.
About our jobs. This is the part in, movie fights where you just kind of fast forward through it to get to the actual thing while they're talking about loot crate and shit.
Yeah. But anyways, enough of our shameless promotion and whatever.
Which is a great show, by the way.
I'm a real reverend, too.
He is. So I guess we'll just start off with...
Believe it or not. What were we talking about?
The big, I guess, comic boom and just the pop culture stuff.
Yeah,
everyone's trying to jump on board with the whole...
what you said we were going to talk about?
Building a cinematic universe. Like DC, they're really starting to put their cinematic universe in the forefront to compete with Marvel. Which I guess...
There's going to be some flops in that.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But okay, well, first off...
Too ambitious, but I think we've kind of talked about that before.
Civil War and Batman v Superman comes out the same year. Which do we think Batman Superman is going to be able to compete with Civil War?
It's not, and they know it's not because they originally had them on the same date, and Batman v Superman is the one that moved the date.
They backed.
Yeah.
I think they'll
still compete, but
but like
it'll compete. Will it do? Civil War will do better.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to be by astronomical margins.
No.
The same people that see Civil War are going to see Batman.
Yeah. I mean, we're the ones talking right now. Yeah. We're the ones that are going to do it. So.
Yeah.
Are there going to be a lot of people like picking one over the other? Maybe.
I'd say so.
Maybe, but not as much.
You've got those diehard DCs. You got your diehard Marvels that are
they're definitely
the other side.
But being a film too,
even then, you still see both just so you can bitch about the one that you don't like.
Yeah. Is anyone going to see it for Ben Affleck? Is anyone going to see it for Robert Downey Jr.? Yeah, maybe they might actually go see it for Downey Jr.
But it's like,
I mean,
just for I think that's a whole nother discussion. We're kind of past the age of movie stars, just people going to see specific stars.
It's all for the character.
And then also with they're wanting to do Justice League around the same time. Like I think maybe
that's the first or second Infinity War.
I think the first Infinity War. So again, they're basically...
That makes sense, because it's Justice League 1 and 2.
They're essentially playing chess right now. DC's been behind. They've lost most of their pawns.
Really trying to play catch-up?
Yeah. They've lost most of their pawns, but they still got, their rooks and their knights. They're basically, I assume this is kind of, I guess, an analogy. They're basically using their rooks and knights to kind of outmaneuver Marvel's pawns and just... I don't think even if all the DC movies are hits, they're all great. I still don't think
I don't see that
they're gonna top Marvel though.
As we said,
absolutely not.
And again, not saying like because we prefer Marvel, we're DC haters. It's just they're so far behind. They can't.
I'm glad they're catching up.
Yeah, speaking purely about the films as well, not the comics themselves.
Yeah,
it's good to see that we have films at least competing.
Yeah,
now.
Because again, that's what makes things great is competition. I mean, I think that's why Marvel and DC work so well is because they're competing against each other. I mean, I don't think it's like a heated competition because they've crossed over, they've worked together before.
The thing I think it's probably a mistake that DC, at least right now, seems to be making. They're going super dark.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going for variety or making good films. They're going. We're going to do the exact opposite.
That's not a
Marvel.
decision I agree with. DC at all.
I don't know that that's officially their thing because
I think they feel
it
like
really
that's the only
looks
way
like
to go.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with the
Frank Miller made that one good Batman comic that time. Why can't we make everything exactly like that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're focused on. It should be a good film first, whether
They
it's comic
think the only way to
or,
catch up is to make it dark. They can't have funny, lighthearted
I guess they
films.
also kind of want to be the adult.
X-Men's already doing that anyways. But I think
it's not the same studio, but
X-Men is already they're separate from Marvel because they're Fox. That's why they're already doing the kind of adult, even in the PG-13s, you get Hugh Jackman's ass and an F-bomb, once, which is the most you can get. So even then, they're kind of curbing it at Deadpool's going to be rated R, a hard R.
Thankfully.
Yep.
I guess that actually does kind of segue into the next topic at hand. Is there's a rumor going on that Fox and Marvel by 2020 are gonna work together, and they'll at least cross over like some of the X-Men with the Avengers. I guess cause I read an article about it. And again, this is a rumor, like no confirmations on any by either party or any like official like studio executives or people involved. It's just a popular rumor that by 2020,
I would think it's
they're
just a rumor because what's happened with all this bickering and not promoting and canceling Fantastic Four and X-Men. This kind of petty squabbling.
It could also be one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, let's by all means, we don't like each other, but let's think about like because again, the whole team up thing has become so popular with like the Avengers.
The fans, it's all it's about. We're gonna make more money because people want to see this.
Yeah.
People will give us money to see this.
So I think that's one thing that like they're kind of looking at is okay. So sure, by all means, keep your the X-Men universe will be separate, and I think the way they're gonna cross over again, if this does happen, is it'll be like just crossing dimensions or universes or whatever. Because obviously you can't have the X-Men franchise films in the same universe as the Marvel Cinematic Universe because that'd be too conflicting. How would you explain, like, New York got destroyed, and the X-Men were just like, whatever.
We were just there.
Well,
but then again,
you could possibly say that the new timeline created, spoilers, by Days of Future Past is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking, too, that X-Men Apocalypse is kind of the end of Bryan Singer's run. I don't know if that's just Bryan Singer is gone or that.
Well, I know a lot of the cast members are leaving. Jennifer Lawrence is leaving.
Assume James McAvoy is out.
I think Michael
Fassbender. Hugh Jackman's leaving.
Hugh
Jackman's leaving. Which that's going to be a huge blow.
It would be kind of the perfect time to restart it.
Yeah.
Even though they've got the whole Gambit thing going on.
Yeah.
But
I think it'd be for the best, actually.
Yeah, that would be the perfect time to bring it into Marvel.
Because I know, like with
so after Apocalypse,
like with First Class, it was essentially rebooting it. But I think, in a way, First Class
it was a prequel.
Well, it was a prequel, but I think it was
Days of Future Past tied it back in.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like that was what they were trying to do is at least try and fix the horrible continuity errors that the X-Men franchise created. So I think that was them
you
kind of
remove Origins Wolverine, and there you go.
Yeah, that's the main continuity problem. Is just remove that
number
film.
3.
Yeah, which again they did fix
Wolverine
3.
Movie?
But yeah, I think I would prefer that they just be like, hey, we're from another parallel universe or whatever, and cross over that way to defeat some like Galactus or some huge villain, rather than I don't know. I think that's.
I prefer they just restart the X-Men.
Yeah.
But have
everything else is restarting. Why not restart X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Well, I think that'll be easier to do after the final Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's definitely what everything is built up to at this point.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's going to have to be sort of a rebirth after that.
Yeah, because
pretty much
all these sequels to like the new Avengers, like Black Panther, Ant-Man, that's all going to happen after Infinity War. And maybe even a Planet Hulk movie. That'd be great, because people have been wanting that. People have been wanting a standalone Black Widow movie. I don't think that's ever going to happen, just because...
Never say never.
I mean, if the Aunt May movie's not going to happen. Right?
I mean, she's, like, Black Widow's a cool character, but I feel like they kind of did a spy thriller, which they did in Winter Soldier. Yeah. And that's...
Not that they couldn't do it again.
No,
it's just
but...
kind of like... It would be like Salt or something.
Yeah. Which, it'd still be fine, but it probably wouldn't be a blockbuster Marvel movie. It'd just be, like, maybe something you release, like, in February or something when nothing else is out.
Yeah.
Unless it's just, like, it's called Black Widow, but everybody else is in it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like
that's just how I feel
Civil
about it.
War.
Like, like Civil War, but,
we've seen Captain
Avengers
America.
Pretty much.
His own movie,
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Black Widow in the comics works better by herself, but I feel like in the movies she's got to have an ensemble or just someone with her, like Captain America or.
Not that Scarlett Johansson can't carry a movie.
No, she could.
What about a Shield movie?
I'd prefer the show.
Shield in general.
I like the show well enough. Have you gotten to where it's good yet?
Yeah. I actually finished season 2 last week.
Not giving it another chance.
Yeah, like, it took me, like, I was on the verge of giving up multiple times through this first season, because... it wasn't bad, it was just boring.
I never heard it got good.
I thought it was really boring up until, like, it tied into, like, Thor, Dark World, and Winter Soldier, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, all the actors and the writing just, like, did a complete 180, where, like, all of a sudden, the actors were like, okay, let's give it everything we've got, because, like...
Yeah, there's just a point where they decided, let's make this a good show.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is by itself, like, without being tied into the films, it's just okay. But when they start tying it into the films, then it's like, okay, this is actually
getting... It's also on ABC, so...
Yeah, but it is getting... Yeah, it got significantly better towards the end of Season 1. And Season 2 as a whole, I thought, was a lot better, too, because... it's still kind of dealing with the aftermath of the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're trying to get everything back together.
Yeah, it was wondering how they were going to deal with that.
And then towards the end, it's setting up for Age of Ultron, which is really great. I don't think... Like, by all means, have maybe the
that's like
S.H.I.E.L.D.
keep it on TV.
Yeah. I mean, maybe have Agent Coulson come back into the cinematic universe, like some of the films.
No, I wouldn't mind.
I'm not saying take Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to make a movie out of it. I'm saying a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie with, like, Black Widow, Nick Fury, Maria, something like that. I mean, you could have I would say bring Coulson into this movie, though, for sure.
Which
that's the only way I could kind of see a solo Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
Would be
which hats off to Clark Gregg, though, to basically be a walk-on role in Iron Man and become so popular that he's been retconned into the comics. That does not happen often. The only other time I can think of that is Harley Quinn got retconned into the comics after the Batman animated series.
That was,
Coulson teamed up with Deadpool.
Person. Did he?
That was probably my favorite part of Daniel Way's run of Deadpool was when he teamed up with Phil Coulson.
But yeah, see, I mean, and again, I think the show is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s, since it's getting more popular, and again, it's getting a lot better. It's more interesting. I think I could see, like, again, Coulson coming back into, like, maybe one of the movies. I know a lot of people are thinking they might. Maybe some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the show will come into Civil War, even if they're just kind of like cameos or mentioned or something like that.
I'm surprised they Ultron.
A little bit, yeah.
I think it's gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to bring some of them into Inhumans at this point.
Yeah, especially with Sky's character. Spoiler for anyone who's not caught up.
The show is basically.
I barely watched any of it.
Begun building up to Inhumans at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, she's an Inhuman, so. Yeah, I could see her coming into the Inhumans film, or, I don't know, at some point. But another thing, too, though, is, with this whole comic boom, is we were kind of talking about, like, how all these other, like, comic book publishers are wanting to, like, build their own cinematic universe. Like you were saying,
just movies.
Yeah, like you were saying, Transformers is trying to build their cinematic universe, which that's
Terminator.
Everything is a franchise now. So.
That's so dumb. Like no one likes the Transformers movies anymore. Everyone's caught on. They're horrible. Yes, they're fun.
They still make tons of money. But
they're action movies, but
they're absolutely a guilty pleasure of mine. But I can admit objectively they are just awful.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like Michael Bay. Why do you keep doing this to us? Why?
Keep making money.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Why do they keep making money when everyone's just kind of like, yeah, Transformers movies
everyone wants
suck.
to go see buildings fall and
it's a big
robots fight.
It's
you gotta
dumb.
have something to tidy over between the good movies.
Yeah. Well, no matter how.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like stay home and not go to the movies?
Because the only reason that I was even curious to because I was pretty much done with Transformers after the third one, but then when the fourth one they were like Dinobots, I was like, okay, I might see it for the Dinobots. But everyone kept saying they didn't come into the last 15 minutes. It's like, no, I don't care about this movie. The Dinobots don't come into the last 15 minutes. No, I'm done.
I will say, the fourth one did give us no Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, that was
it had that going for it, but
completely batshit insane Optimus Prime was entertaining.
I did like that better.
Yeah,
and
that's
Mark
cool.
Wahlberg's a scientist, so
no one believes that.
I know.
I'm an inventor.
I mean, people believe Matthew McConaughey was.
That's more believable than Mark Wahlberg. But
Matthew McConaughey has done space before, though.
Yeah. Like Mark Wahlberg's good scientist, kind of like, you got to put the flux capacitor into that. There we go.
His voice got really high there.
No.
Where's my daughter?
Yeah, what? No.
Where's my daughter at?
You're talking about a completely superfluous bottle of cough syrup.
But yeah, no one believed Mark Wahlberg.
So how long do we think this whole reboot of superheroes is gonna keep trending? Just to restart it, get a new actor, get a new actress.
I mean, I think
another 5-10 years goes. We'll
Spider-Man
start the whole thing over.
Yeah.
I don't think Marvel's gonna reboot their cinematic universe.
No, I think
soon, but
no. Again,
apparently
Kevin Feige even said in an interview, basically they're just once all the actors' contracts run out, like Robert Downey Jr.'s gone, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, everyone's gone. They're just gonna he referred to it. He referred to it as James Bond it, where basically they keep the story in just a new actor and don't really address that it's a new actor.
Like they did for the early Batman.
Yeah, they'll except hopefully do it much better.
Yeah,
Clooney for Iron Man.
You shut your poor mouth. So that's the way I understand it.
Tomorrow.
I saw Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I actually watched your review on your channel.
I thought it was alright. It was fun.
Yeah. But I think Marvel's got a better shot at continuing their cinematic universe, especially with them rebooting their continuity in the comics. Because you've got Lady Thor now, you've got Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Work. It's just how much is too much?
Yeah.
When does it get even more tiring?
And I do think that definitely by
because not everybody that likes going to the movies likes all this comic book stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I think Dustin Hoffman recently said that this is the worst film has ever been in his career.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you, Dustin Hoffman.
Rain Man.
I mean, he's not my favorite either. I don't dislike him, but...
I would agree, though, where he's saying that, but it's like...
Besides non-comic movies, really nothing that even looks half decent coming out, for the most part.
Hollywood's run dry. They're just rebooting, remaking old movies... And even the
nothing's original.
Yeah, it's the crossover between money and art.
Yeah. But I do. I if there is when the fatigue does happen, because again it's inevitable. I'm hoping it'll at least be after Infinity War Part 2 is done and after the Justice League movies are done. So that way we at least get closure on the big finale, the big team up movies.
I think we're gonna see a lot of failures first before it's just a huge crash and the market changes.
Yeah.
And I definitely see that coming from DC.
Because again,
Batman and Robin too.
The whole thing with Spider-Man is again we all want Spider-Man to succeed because he is the face of Marvel.
Here's the thing: I think the only reason Spider-Man has any chance of succeeding now is because it's going to Marvel.
Yeah.
If Sony was just rebooting it again by themselves,
because look at their track record.
Crying, and every movie would end with a funeral and all that shit again.
Because I don't think people would be up for it.
Because Sony's track record, it's okay, they messed up on the third Spider-Man, with the first trilogy. Then they messed up with the second one. So if they reboot it, they probably mess up on the first one.
Yeah, if history repeats itself.
So yeah, at least with Marvel involved, I think this is the best chance they'll get at finally creating a successful possibly long-lasting franchise. Now, whether they'll keep it. For the
love of God, I don't want an origin story.
No, I think they did say. I think they did say it's not going to be an origin story.
Yeah,
like they might just summarize it in like the beginning, be like, "I'm Peter Parker, blah blah blah. Here you go." Not that that's even necessary. Really just be
like, "I'm Peter Parker, you know the drill."
Yeah, yeah. Because again, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, everyone knows their origin to some extent. Don't bother.
I could even see. I think Spider-Man's a character that lends itself to that. You wouldn't see. I'm Bruce Wayne. But, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight the Joker.
So I feel like with the new Spider-Man movie, especially however he's introduced in Civil War, how big a character, I think it'll just be one of those things where it's kind of like, in the solo Spider-Man movie, it's like, so I just got done with that Civil War stuff. That was crazy, but on with my normal life, more or less, but, I'm Spider-Man, so it's not that normal. Kind of like how it is in the comics, where he's...
Yeah. Started out like a comic.
Yeah. So I'd like it to kind of do that, to where, again, he just, bam, like, first...
Wham, bam, in the action.
Just, like, don't even take 5 minutes in him being like, here's my origin, and then get straight to...
in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, he's already an established Spider-Man.
Oh, hey, you're probably wondering what I'm doing here.
Yeah, cause I think that's how the 90s Spider-Man show started out. Like, he was stopping, like, a bank robbery or something. He's like, oh, by the way, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Here's how I got my powers. Bam, that's all you needed.
Yep.
And
I'm cool with that.
I can see him right now just swinging around
maybe
fighting
they might have like flashbacks throughout the film, like short little flashbacks of him.
Yeah.
Getting
even that
thing.
I mean that's probably I think how it's gonna be, but I don't even really want to see that.
But if they do it,
I think that's I think it probably is the way it's gonna
be. They probably will because even
it's always someone's first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like if they I don't know, with Uncle Ben, it's like if they just kill him off,
Martin Sheen is
and have him stay dead. Have Uncle Ben stay dead, because if they have to reboot it again, I will kill Uncle Ben myself.
I think they've run through all the like.
Yeah, I will jump into that film. I will Deadpool myself into that film, and I will like kill Uncle Ben and be like, "You happy now, Spider-Man? You can be Spider-Man now. He's dead. Let him stay dead, and actually do the franchise justice and do a good Spider-Man movie. I'm out."
Drop the mic.
Yeah, drop the mic and the knife or whatever I used to kill Uncle Ben with.
I don't even know who they've run out of people to cast in that role. Because there are obviously no actors over like 50.
George Clooney.
He doesn't look that old though.
He's had that touch of gray for like 25 years.
I wouldn't
there are no actors that look their age.
Yeah. No.
That are like over 50.
But I don't want like a big name.
Michael Douglas.
I don't want a big name actor as Uncle Ben. Just get some old character actor or something like that.
Yeah. Why do you need a huge guy who's just gonna get killed off?
Yeah.
We
can bill him. He's in this movie.
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
No, don't underutilize the talent of Bryan Cranston as Uncle Ben.
Don't pull a
DC.
DC.
You tell that to Godzilla.
That was my only complaint with Godzilla. Aside from that was a great movie.
But it was a big complaint.
Yeah.
I love Godzilla.
But it was a great movie.
I love Bryan Cranston.
Needed more Cranston.
But
it's like more cowbell. Just need more Cranston.
But also, like, I think we were mentioning, like, Kick-Ass, I think, was wanting to do, or, like, they kind of wanted to do a third movie.
What
they have to do a...
from Mark Miller was they're going to try and do a Hit Girl movie first, because I guess I don't know if Chloe Moretz is either not coming back, or they have to reestablish the character or something, or studio thinks it's been too long, or... Well, I don't think the second one did as well as they wanted.
No.
So maybe for the studio, they have to do some sort of reboot so they can move on.
I guess sort of get the Kick-Ass cinematic universe, whatever, which I don't think they should do that. I think they should just leave it at 2. I thought that was as good as it's going to get, probably.
Probably.
If they're going to make another one, they should just make 3. I don't really think we need a Hit Girl spin-off. Because she's already the star of Kick-Ass.
Pretty much, yeah.
But that's what franchises are coming to these days.
Yeah, they're kind of like, okay, Hit Girl, super popular. Make a movie of it.
Well, I mean, I think just the whatever that hacked email that the
Sony thing.
Yeah, was sort of telling as to like what their thought process is, and then I don't think they really have a clue.
Yeah,
dollar signs.
Yeah, as far as
I do know they're tired of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, at least they're
at least they're there.
Yeah,
but he's got some other crap movie coming.
Pixels for the win.
Yeah,
you know what? That movie I'd probably be interested in seeing, but not with Adam Sandler.
If it wasn't Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I want to be excited for Pixels, and like every second of Pixels that I see Looks exciting, except for the ones with Adam Sandler.
It actually looks like it could be kind of a neat little movie if Adam Sandler wasn't in it.
I'm still gonna go check it out.
I'll see it like
Tyrion has me on the fence. Otherwise, I probably would. No, this looks terrible.
I might catch a matinee of it.
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
Like with your duster and your hat.
Yeah.
And your sunglasses.
Cheap sunglasses.
But like, I don't know. I guess like still on topic with like that whole old comic boom. Like, do you guys?
Topic?
I guess that's the core of this podcast. But like, do you guys think that like it'll last until like Infinity War Part 2 and like the Justice League movie Part 2, or do you think it'll
I don't see it
before?
I think that'll be when it peaks.
I think we're safe till then.
Yeah.
I think it's however Marvel chooses to continue after Infinity War. I definitely
they're
see
the leaders. So.
Yeah, everyone's gonna basically.
I definitely see DC being kind of the falling off.
Their
there
little
will be
brother
failures.
playing catch up. Trying to hit that growth spurt that's never gonna come.
Yeah.
Spider-Man fails again. A Fantastic Four fails.
Yeah.
Which
whatever goes on with the X-Men, there will be other flops.
Yeah,
there'll be.
I think Spider-Man's solo movie has a good chance of failing because while it will be co-produced by Marvel, Sony will have the final say.
Sony's still running the show, so I don't have nearly as much faith in that as I did.
But
and again,
maybe Marvel's involved.
But that's
I think all it's essentially doing is just letting the character be used in Marvel films. I don't think they have much of a say over script, director, etc.
And again, that's the real shame with Spider-Man is because he is, again, he's the face of Marvel.
He is the biggest.
He's the biggest seller in Marvel. Yeah. Like Marvel can't cancel like the Spider-Man comics to like get the cinematic rights like they're trying to do with Fantastic Four.
That might actually mean something if they can't.
Yeah.
But they can't afford that. But
no, but like
people would riot in the streets.
But again, like
maybe
if you can't do the face of Marvel, if you can't do a successful franchise,
he's kind of now the poster child of superhero failure.
Yeah, and that's again,
much as that sucks.
That's the worst part. Is it's Spider-Man?
Because I love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If you listen to our Marvel.
Yeah, feel free to check.
Probably the reason why I hated the second one so much.
See our love for him. But he's the face. He'll be the face. It just sucks to see him fail so many times because he's such a great character.
Even though like Iron Man,
he's
Thor,
in such horrible hands.
And all these other characters are finally catching up. Like Iron Man, Thor, they're still super popular, but they're never going to be as popular as Spider-Man.
Their popularity's boomed so much the last 10 years, but
that's before the Iron Man film. Who knew who Iron Man was?
He was cool, but it's like
we didn't
know everything about him.
He wasn't a household name.
No, like I kind of just knew some of the basic stuff about Iron Man, just from like the cross, like when he was in Spider-Man. The really short run.
You didn't even see much of him in the cartoon.
No. I mean, he had a brief run, like TV
brief.
show, like it only was like 12.
Even the one like the 60s.
Yeah.
Had like, I don't remember, there was some episode, some technology show or expo or whatever, where you see Tony Stark and Iron Man.
It's like. Yeah, you just think of the Black Sabbath song before then.
But
hopefully you still do as well.
Yeah,
but,
and definitely
Spider-Man has been immensely popular forever.
But definitely characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man. Like again, I think some people at least maybe like I knew of Ant-Man. I knew. Probably knowing the basics. I knew he was a founding member of the Avengers, and
but that's it. I only knew of Ant-Man because the Avengers was a thing now. And I was like, looking into that, I was like, oh, Ant-Man.
Yeah,
he and Wasp.
Ant-Man is a thing.
Original members missing, which I get why they didn't.
And I honestly thought like Black Panther was Prowler, because Prowler's kind of like got a similar outfit. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, I remember Black Panther from the Spider-Man animated series. But I was like, he's kind of a criminal, though, isn't he? But then, like, I kind of looked into it more. I was like, oh, okay, no. Nope, not even the same character, not even... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many similar characters.
Yeah. That's why Marvel's great. They're taking these smaller, lesser-known characters and bringing them into how we know them today.
Yeah, and again, like, not just the films, but, like, with Netflix, Daredevil.
Yeah, you finally
Daredevil finally...
Daredevil done right.
Yeah, they did Daredevil great. Like, me and Reverend Spaceman...
was kind of in the public eye.
Yeah.
Should be.
And then they're bringing in, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron
Punisher.
Fist. Punisher is finally making his
John
MCU
Bernthal,
debut.
Which I think he's going to be the villain in season 2 of Daredevil.
I think it's going to be more of because I think they're bringing in Bullseye. So I think it might be one of those things where Punisher and Daredevil clash at first, like they did in the comics. Yeah. I think when they first met, they were at each other's throats, and then I think when or kind of even
Punisher v Daredevil,
yeah, or even
Dawn
like
of Netflix,
even like when Daredevil first came across Spider-Man, or Punisher first came across Spider-Man, they they were at each other's throats until they figured out they had a common enemy. So I think maybe like Bullseye will come in and I don't know, maybe try and kill both of them while they're duking out, and they're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
The only thing that has me worried about season 2, not even a story thing, is his name's Stephen DeKnight.
Yeah, Stephen DeKnight isn't the showrunner.
Not the showrunner. I know I'm pretty sure they've.
But this is Marvel and Netflix. We're in good hands.
You can't beat a good showrunner.
Yeah, but this is Marvel Netflix.
I'm still confident. Yeah,
exactly. I'm still confident. It's Marvel and Netflix.
Like I am
much
bummed.
Like Star Wars Episode 7, I just don't know.
Let's not get into that.
I'm a little.
Speaking of big franchises that will never end.
I guess that. I mean, Star Wars has always had.
That too.
Yeah, they're expanding that. They've got
Star Wars comics.
Because they've got Rogue One coming out.
Topical.
They've got, I think they have officially said they're doing a Han Solo movie, except that was a rumor. Boba Fett.
Chris Pratt might as well just play everyone.
That's what I was going to Chris Pratt needs to be just Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is...
He can do the Witness reboot.
So, if he's going to be the new Indiana Jones, I think he's perfect. Not just because I think he would do the role fine, but he's such a likable actor. Like, he's not just a popular actor, like movie star right now. Yeah, he's in all these franchises, but he's a likable person. Like,
Jurassic World was basically his audition tape for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and Han Solo.
Yeah, that's what...
and he passed in my book.
Several people I've talked to about that movie were like, did you kind of just feel like the whole time Chris Pratt was auditioning for Indiana Jones?
Yeah, and basically... And, even, like... Because Jurassic World is kind of a divided movie. Like, some people loved it, some people hated it. But it seems like the people who didn't like it were like, Chris Pratt really carried the movie. That was the one positive thing that they did have about it.
That's about what I'm hearing about Terminator Genesis, too, that, like, Arnold was the best part of it, and Jai Courtney was the worst part. Anyway,
that surprised me, because I like him from what I've seen him in.
See, he was really... I liked him in Spartacus.
Arnold definitely was the best.
He was the best
you
part
saw
of
it?
Yes. The most recent...
What'd you think?
Die Hard movie?
Terrible Die Hard movie.
I thought it was better than Salvation.
Yeah, that's about what I thought. But I thought it was a little bit better than 3 too, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
It's been so long since I've seen.
Well, we'll do an actual full review on Terminator Genesis once we and Dave finally watch it.
But Dave apparently is not a fan of Schwarzenegger. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
he wasn't big on his politics, I think.
So. Okay, I mean, as long as you like him as an actor.
I mean, he's not a good actor either.
Well, no, hardly any of those.
That's what makes him awesome.
He is Arnold Schwarzenegger, though.
There certainly are awesome.
He's not a good actor, but he is an amazing presence.
Just not into.
Yeah, he's just.
I don't even know about that so much.
Well, I mean,
nothing beats Kindergarten Cop.
I did like that movie a lot as a kid, but I haven't really gone back and watched it.
It's still good.
Everyone has their own Arnold impersonation, and none of them are any good. No. But everyone has one and says something.
Yes, he is a cultural icon.
Yeah.
But am I that big a fan? Not really.
But I guess another thing, too, though, is, again, with these new franchises that are essentially being, I guess with, Terminator Genesis, they're essentially starting fresh. They want to do a whole new Terminator thing. Yeah. I think that's why they did the weird time travel stuff. Mm-hmm. And
they're doing a TV show, too.
Again?
Another one?
Yeah, to, tie into the movies. So they're kind of agents of shielding it.
Well, see, there you go. They're trying to build their own, I guess, connected universe.
I don't think it really works for... It makes sense for comics because the comics have been around forever.
Yeah, it does.
But these other franchises are like, comics are doing it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Why can't we?
And obviously,
it makes as much sense.
Yeah.
I think it can work for Terminator because even though, the core of it is Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There's a whole, even just in those two, there's a whole lot of world that you can explore. Yeah. There's alternate timelines. And as much as people want to say Genesis is shitting on the first movie, it's not. Because alternate timelines is mentioned in the first movie and the second one.
Yeah.
So shut up. That's the thing in Terminator.
Yeah, it always was a time travel movie.
Yeah.
But also...
Probably a better example of... bad expansion that doesn't make sense is the whole Walking Dead spinoff.
Yeah, because I mean the show is already like winding out.
I kind of gave up after like season 2, and
like
all I've heard from people is it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it just seems like, I mean, this season 5. Yeah, season 5 was okay. Like 4 was probably more on par with like
got a little
1
bit
and 2.
Better, and then
yeah,
it just kind of dropped off again.
But it's I don't know, like. Again, it's the same thing with the comics. Like I followed the comics for a while, but then it got to the point to where
it's just monotonous.
Yeah, it's monotonous.
So much you can do with it,
and yeah, so that's the problem with the show. Same thing with the comics. They just need to wrap it up, be done with it.
The whole zombie thing is kind of it's played out.
It's oversaturated. Just take a break from zombies before bringing them back into the scene.
It could be a good 10 years before zombies could really be cool again if you give it a break.
Yeah, I think the horror genre in general needs like a 10-year hiatus.
Yeah, with like all the damage that's been done, like with vampires and werewolves from Twilight and the
Paranormal Activity was an awful franchise.
It was. Yep. Oh my god, what? I could go on my problems with that franchise. Yeah,
podcast
that we'll probably never do.
We'll save that for after dark.
Well,
it just makes everyone angry.
Yeah.
Not Cody Schiller.
Yeah.
For throwing shoutouts.
Who?
Yeah.
You know the kid.
Ash Ketchum. That's who.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum.
You know Ash Ketchum, right?
Yeah.
Same guy.
He's pretty forgettable.
I'm trying to imagine it right now.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult.
Just Ash Ketchum.
It's difficult. I have an image. It's basically just a cartoon.
Gotcha.
But
he wears a hat.
He does. But
I can hear his voice more than
we're getting off topic.
Really,
Stop. We're getting off topic. But yeah,
I think people
with
know who he is.
Everyone knows who he is. But with the whole franchise thing, again, like Jurassic Park is one to do like just this whole, which Jurassic World, in my opinion, that's the best we're gonna get. It's just gonna keep getting dumber and dumber the more sequels they make.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like we mentioned in the review, they're probably gonna be in space at some point, like Jurassic.
Hashtag Parknado.
No, it's Dinado.
Which I would rather see the sort of like Parks and Recreation Sharknado movie.
I would love to see a Parks and Rec crossover with Jurassic Park, crossover with Sharknado.
That's the reunion episode of Parks.
It'd be a jumbled mess, and
and because Chris Pratt is Han Solo as well, it'll be space and Indiana and
I've written a short treatment for. I actually wrote a short treatment for Parknado that I'm saving for our other one where we're going to pitch our ideal sequel.
Thank you for referring to it as a treatment.
Yeah.
It is a treatment. I refer to Chris Pratt as Chris Pratt. I put in parentheses, fuck you, that's his name.
Well, yeah, I don't get why, movies feel the need to, like, give actors a different name.
Yeah.
Like, if I watch a movie with Dolph Lundgren, it's Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
It's not
when you watch any Terminator movie, you don't think, oh, look what the Terminator's doing. You say, look what Arnold's doing.
Also because Arnold's not a good enough actor to make you believe he's anyone else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a whole different issue, though.
But he's such an entertaining screen presence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's undeniable.
Maybe entertaining for the wrong reason.
He's still entertaining.
I mean,
for whatever
not
reason.
everyone has to be.
He is legitimately good for the role of the Terminator.
Film,
but yeah, like for whatever reason, it's undeniable he is an entertaining presence in cinema.
Yeah.
We need to bring him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No,
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened. Yeah,
I am too.
But
I'm sure there's a role for him.
I mean, as long as he only says like
Cable.
one word.
He could be Cable.
Please no.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather not see him as Cable.
Yes.
I get the resemblance, but please no.
I don't like anything else we want to I guess mention about like this whole like boom and like I guess pop culture in general.
Where do we think the like non-superhero comics thing is going?
Yeah, I think that needs to be more prevalent.
Because is that what it's going to kind of wind up when people are sick of superheroes? People will never be sick of
comics.
Just as much variety in comics as any other.
Yeah, there's a lot of good titles that could do well.
Like again, Why the Last Man? I think would be great as either a film or a TV show.
The current Brian K. Vaughan's current project, Saga.
Saga's great.
I mean, it's a bit more kind of sci-fi genre-esque.
It's like a more adult Star Wars.
He intended to make it not so it would. He doesn't want it to be a film. That's why he made it so.
I think, and
well, I guess
since I'm the Weeaboo movie group, I'm gonna have to say I'd like to see some more manga-based movies.
I don't know that does it really translate as well.
Edge of Tomorrow.
I think that's the problem with a lot of them. They don't.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was a decent movie that could have been better.
I liked it.
It was not
bad.
It
was fun.
I liked the concept.
It was a fun movie.
I liked it overall. It could have been really good. I liked it.
Are we gonna have the Pacific Rim argument again?
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. It's not.
But I think
you can talk about it since that's going to be a whole franchise now with TV shows,
and
comics.
But that needs to be one.
Does it?
That was yes, it does because it was kind of.
I'm gonna agree. I think
it kind of just felt like it already felt like an adaptation with no source material.
Yeah, like I'm gonna actually agree with you. Like
because the source material is just a whole genre.
In a way, I feel like Pacific Rim is like a better version of Transformers.
Yeah.
That's not saying much.
It isn't, but it's still. I think it's
much better.
It's like again Transformers versus Godzilla monsters.
Maybe if Chris Pratt was in Pacific Rim.
Like I don't like.
I would be completely down for that.
But like Pacific Rim is one of those franchises where you don't need story. You don't need.
Let's bring Chris Pratt in, and you would be against it. Like if Chris Pratt was in Transformers.
Oh hell yeah!
I go see it just for that.
Is there any franchise you couldn't picture him in?
I could see him in pretty much anything.
He's the next Christian Grey.
He's on top of the world.
But
I'm sure people will love it.
But no, I feel like
we might as well recast for the reboot of 50 Shades.
But I feel like Pacific Rim has good franchise potential. It's cool watching giant robots fight monsters. You don't need a lot of story and character development.
It's so cool these days that there is no.
But okay, no, like yes, I like.
We've lost in a world where we're living in where it's just a bunch of like superhero movies.
But okay, here's the thing though: is I prefer the movies where they have good story, plot development, character development, all that stuff. But every now and then, every now and then, I like to just watch a cool, fun movie. I don't have to think about it a whole lot. It's just like, it is what it is.
I think as Rich has pointed out, I don't like fun. I want more substance.
The old grumpy man syndrome. Yeah.
Dave's just the bitter old man of the group.
There has to be one.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the oldest one of us, but that's neither here nor there.
I happen to be the youngest, so I don't know what's up with that.
But Pacific Rim I think is... I'm all for it being a franchise, regardless of how you may feel, Dave. But
I don't even really care.
Whatever.
But
I just thought it was appropriate to bring up because that's another non-comic book, but franchise.
Yeah.
A film that they want to turn into a billion other films to make billions of dollars.
But I think. I don't know. Any other potential franchises or franchises that we think we haven't covered yet, or anything, or want to mention?
Anything that we want to turn into a franchise?
Ooh, that's actually not a bad idea.
Power Rangers.
They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. I'm not opposed to it.
Surprised.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I think they're sort of aging it up too.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get a older target audience, not just doing. Because Power Rangers, it's never stopped. It's still been on, but it's still just been aimed towards kids.
It doesn't have the buzz it had.
But I think that I think
they're going to try to hit people, kind of our age that grew up with it when it.
But I think Power Rangers is one of those franchises that needs to come back.
I don't know if it needs to come back, but it needs.
Or it needs some kind of
improvements,
remodeling. Remodeling improvements. To either bring the. Get the show, I haven't kept up with the show in over 10 years.
I'm sure it's the exact same thing.
Probably, just a different theme. They're lumberjacks now or something, because they've been pretty much everything else.
The grunge.
But yeah, I'm all for Power Rangers making a comeback.
80s, Power Rangers.
Anything else? We're going on about 45 minutes here, but anything else we want to mention before we wrap this up, gentlemen? Or I guess any other comics we'd like to see adapted, or... I think we kind of mentioned that in like our comic podcast.
Nobody watched that one.
It's gotten more views. It's doing better. So thank you, viewers, for
thank you very much.
Posting views.
People go back and listen. Watch.
And actually, please give us feedback. What do you want to see more of? We really want to know.
By all means, yeah.
Yeah, by all means. We're very open-minded here with suggestions.
Yeah. I will say it's kind of it is superhero-y, but Mark Waid's Irredeemable, and
yes,
which was amazing. But I mean, it's one of those things that turns the genre. Well, kind of turns the genre on its head. Like something we don't see enough of that. Something like Watchmen.
Yeah,
that's true.
For the most part, it's just kind of follows the old cliches, and as good as the Marvel stuff is, it's not really like
a game changer or anything like that.
It doesn't turn anything.
Iron Man was, but after that, still sticking to it.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really challenge convention, I guess. And I think we need because there's certainly plenty of comics like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the wholly redeemable thing is basically, what if Superman just got pissed off one day and because nobody appreciated him and went on a rampage?
Yeah. Great concept.
Yeah.
Will it get made? Who knows?
Or even, like...
I'm sure it's been discussed. Yeah. But...
And again, I know we kind of we touched on this a bit, I think, in one of our comic podcasts. But, like, even if they did, like, these... I mean, we've got plenty to choose from, people. I don't know which one it was, but, like, do, like, movies or whatever, or even a miniseries on, like, these alternate... Like, Superman Red Sun. That's a great... I love that. Like,
I'm surprised that hasn't been adapted already.
I know, like...
I can see that being like
an animated,
a limited Netflix
movie.
Series.
I think it should definitely be an animated movie.
I mean, if they did an animated movie, I'd be all for it. But
they did Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
and that's kind of
it could be a two-parter like that one was.
Yeah, but I think it'd be cool live action as a miniseries or movie. Probably more so a miniseries. I feel like they'd probably go better.
In the money for because they want franchises. They're not going to put.
A standalone what if scenario.
And how do they explain to non-comic?
Yeah, that's a good
reading
point.
Audience or not as savvy that only knows things about these characters from the films. Why is Henry Cavill in Russia?
yeah, because then he'd have to do it like a fake Russian accent.
Well, I mean, they didn't set up for the sequel at all. It just kind of ended.
Yeah.
From the studio's point of view, I don't. See
that makes sense.
I would be okay with an animated series, possibly voiced by Henry Cavill, if he'd do it.
I like the guy from
not like a series, but an animated movie.
Justice League.
Like how DC is doing really damn well with animated movies lately.
Yeah, their animated films are fantastic.
Has the thing with Michael C. Hall come out yet?
I don't think so.
That's the one I'm excited about. I think it's soon though, as of this recording.
Yeah.
When you're listening to it, yes, you.
Viewers or
talking
viewer, however many there are.
No, I'm talking this one specific.
Sitting on your bed
person,
right now.
Yeah. Or maybe you're in your car listening to this podcast. I don't know how you listen to this.
You might be.
Yeah, maybe you
might be jerking off.
Probably.
Licking an ice cream cone.
Yeah, licking an ice cream cone. We don't pretend to know what you people are doing.
We judge you all the time.
Yeah.
Or we don't.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should wrap this up before we get to an hour. Because we're going on almost like 50 minutes here.
No, I think we might hit an hour. That's proper podcast length.
That's true.
Yeah, the termite guy's here, so this is a good closing point. For the time being. It won't be long. I mean,
But,
it's a bit too personal. I don't think people want to know that.
We have termites on the moon, possibly.
Okay. Will this termite problem ever get fixed? Find out in the next podcast.
Already?
But yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to wrap this up this episode. So.
Closing statements. Any closing statements? Any at all? Because I think we did pretty good overall. Covering... Okay.
#Parknado.
Also, I think someone mentioned that they confused Dave and Jordan. Jordan was the one who just said... that's all he's got.
Let's not clarify anything.
No, for the people viewing who don't know us...
No, let's just...
This is Dave talking.
There should be mystery.
Dave's the one saying this should be mystery.
Yeah.
There should be no mystery.
Jordan's the one saying there should be no mystery.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done. We're wrapping this up. Just to clarify who Dave and Jordan are.
Now because
whatever.
We've lost the mystique.
We're done. We're wrapping this up. Hopefully you all enjoyed this overall. Yeah, we got off topic towards the end, but we usually always do. But hopefully you enjoyed most of what we were talking about and agree with things. And feel free to submit your ideas on what should be a franchise or how to do a franchise better. Like if you if you think you could do the Marvel Cinematic Universe better, the DC Cinematic Universe better.
I guarantee you couldn't do the Marvel one better. Yes, you.
I could probably do DC better.
I think we, the four of us, could do DC better.
Yeah. Or if there's, if there's like a franchise from your childhood like Power Rangers that you'd like to bring back to the spotlight and do it justice.
Ninja Turtles.
Again,
well, that's happening.
Kind of already happening, so.
But,
they're both happening. So.
Gundam.
What?
Gundam.
Alright, Gundam.
Pacific Rim?
Shut up. Okay, so, I think that pretty much concludes this podcast. Again, hopefully you enjoyed. Yay!
I'm Reverend Spaceman.
He's Reverend Spaceman. Feel free to check him out on Twitter. Feel free to check out our Twitter page at I can't talk.
At Twitter?
At Twitter, at Pasty Pale Productions. And feel free...
It's just Pasty Pale Pro on Twitter.
Oh, Pasty Pale Pro on Twitter.
And I'm Rev Spaceman.
He's Rev Spaceman, and
I'm
feel
not
free...
Dave.
He's not Dave.
He is not.
And feel free to follow me on Comics Amino at Irishman Jake and hear my thoughts on comics and all that stuff. So until next time,
check out
everyone...
the Pasty Pale Facebook page.